Hi everyone, it's Tasleem here, and I just got back from Bard on the Beach. For those of you who don't know, Bard on the Beach here in Vancouver at least is a festival dedicated to Shakespeare and his plays. And in the summertime, they organize this huge tent. And underneath the tent becomes this magical stage for, I think it's at least 4 different Shakespeare plays that run throughout the week in the afternoons and evenings. And it's like not small time, it's like big time. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's live theater. The actors are amazing. There's dancing, there's music, it's very professionally done, and it's kind of outdoors but underneath a tent. So it's great for the summer, and I had the privilege of going to see one of my favorite plays today, which is Midsummer Night's Dream. Normally, I get so excited about the plot and the story because I love the idea behind it. It has this magic to it, and it's about dreams, and it's comedy, and it's just has a lot of fantasy in it. But today, what really struck me was I kept getting fascinated by the idea of voices in it. There's everything from a little bit of singing and, actors speaking out and really enunciating because it's Shakespeare. But also there's a character in the play that's supposed to pretend to be a lion, and all she has to do is roar, and she's makes the smallest kind of roar, and it's supposed to be comical because she's supposed to be scary and be able to frighten someone else in the theater, but she doesn't roar, that's not her, and she almost apologizes when people play along and pretend that they are frightened by her. And I realized that this was perfect for the topic today, because what I wanted to talk about was how a very unique dance for me, blues and fusion dancing, I feel really got me to find my voice through my body, through dance, and be spontaneous and make choices. And that voice is all about the throat chakra. And I know I've had a lot of issues. I wouldn't be surprised, not just in this lifetime, but in past lifetimes, with something to do with my voice, that I was shut down or made to fear speaking up, because I've always kind of struggled with it a little bit. But when I found fusion and blues, I know that they are different dances, but in our community in Vancouver, I feel like they were kind of blended together. So I'm just going to refer to them as like a whole entity instead of as separate. But for me, I got introduced to blues and fusion. I was almost going to say accidentally, but there was definitely no accident behind it. I needed this so much because I was dabbling in different dances, salsa, bachata, a little bit of tango. And I had a friend, Jason Jang. Jason, if you're out there, you actually really inspired me in this. And he had done some salsa and tango and told me about blues. And I don't remember actually if I met him through blues or if I met him before blues. Maybe I met him before blues. But anyway, I showed up and we were at a sword fighting space where they do during the day. There's sword fighting, and in the evening it gets turned into a dance floor, and it was the big thing for blues and fusion dancers at that time, because the atmosphere was very kind of had that costume kind of, I don't know, something about sword fighting, like falconry and costumes and olden times. But anyway, I got to blues and fusion, and it was actually this dance that I had with Jason that totally blew my mind. I had no idea what I was doing, and I kind of almost felt like that was the point, was that there's no set footwork specifically to blues and fusion. Especially fusion, you're the name says it all. Like, you can fuse different dances together, and it's up to you to interpret what your lead is. So I'm talking from a follower's point of view, but as a follower, it's up to you to interpret what your lead is telling you to do, because yes, there's lead and follow in this dance, and it is a partner dance, but it's different than the other dances because you actually can decide like what you want to create out of the lead, and it's not like you have to go back on a certain count in a certain step with a certain foot. There's no like basic like that. You decide if you want to make it like, you know, grungy and into the earth, and or if you want to, or the music inspires you to do something a bit more floaty and you know, like more like this air kind of element, or if you want to turn a spin into something like it's not hijacking a move, it's not like necessarily taking over the lead, but it's just it's different than doing like a tango step or a salsa step. Like, you couldn't really do this in tango or salsa because people would be like, I don't know what you're doing and I don't know how to, you know, match that. But in blues, you actually need to find your uniqueness and voice it, but voice it through your body, and you interpret like what you want to create with a certain lead. Or if you're the lead, you interpret the music and decide that you want to lead your follow in a certain way, and you kind of get ready for however she might take that. And I wasn't used to it. I didn't know how to be kind of spontaneous like that and improvise, but blues and fusion taught me really how to improvise, how to express. And I feel like, you know, there's so many different parts of us that can express, but the voice, I feel like, is such a unique space to express from, because that's, you know, we all have our own resonance, like literally and figuratively, in terms of we resonate, we vibrate in our voice with our sound, our unique sound. And that's why when you hear someone's voice, it's like so personable, and it can actually bring out different emotions for us if we hear a voice that we haven't heard for a long time, or someone starts speaking and we don't expect them to sound that way. It's really interesting, and it's because the voice is like this instrument that comes from inside of us, and it's part of our vibration, our sound. And I feel like even though I wasn't making a sound through my, you know, vocal cords when I was dancing, I feel like blues and fusion, because I could decide what I wanted to say with my body, how I wanted to say it, compared to other dances that I had learned in terms of partner dance. Blues and fusion were kind of saying, okay, I'm giving you this intention, I'm giving you this lead, and now let's see what you want to do with it. And at first I didn't know what to do with it, but I loved the feeling of it, and it felt so unlike anything that I had experienced, not just in dance but in other areas of my life, because I think I was so used to someone telling me how to do something, or having a structure, or having some sort of, even though salsa and bachata and tango have, you know, expression in it, it's contained within basic steps, and it's contained within certain you know, rhythms and that. But with blues and fusion, I felt like you could change that up if you want. Like, you're dancing to the music, but it's your own unique interpretation of what that entails, without, you know, breaking up the lead follow partnership. But within that, like, the lead can decide how they might interpret something that the follow does next and go with that, and then the follow can actually change it up and maybe, take her time with a step that the lead didn't even think about that she was going to do from his lead. Or and you see a lot of different dances fused in fusion. You see, I love coming to fusion dance and seeing people, you could tell, oh, that person must have a ballet background, or that person must have a salsa background, or that person must be a Lindy dancer. And I loved it because now it was like, okay, how can we take those core dances that we originally maybe really like mastered or learned at a very deep level? How can we now fuse it and take the expression that our partner wants to go with and say, oh, okay, I'm going to feed off of that. And to me it's like having a conversation. And that's why I feel like, because we don't choreograph conversations. We don't plan them out before we go and talk to someone. We feed off of each other's thoughts and what someone says, or what they even their body language. And I felt like this fusion of blues allowed me to have that conversation feeding off of my partner's body language. And to me it became like a voice, that my body was able to voice how it wanted to express. And the most exciting part was that at first it was kind of weird to me. I didn't know how to do it, but then the more I did it, I got so addicted not just to the dance, but because of the dance I got addicted to, I want to, I can run with this and make it something of my own, or I can change it up, or I can decide to put a little taste of some of the other dances that I've done into the fusion dance. And for me, that really reminds me of the purpose of our throat chakra, really to express our uniqueness, to have a conversation, to show our own resonance, and share that with other people. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much for listening. I highly recommend checking out Bard on the Beach. The voices, the singing, the costumes, the set is absolutely amazing. And I hope you're all enjoying the sun. Talk to you soon.